All right. Fill in the blank area there. Yeah, all right. Looks good. Tell you had a suit tie today.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography as an Art, Hobby Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard, Burbank, California. Attorney Ron Irwin's book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. Author Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. State Farm agent Carla Green and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Roll it, Tony.
Okay, we're back, Ron.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when you meet my first guest today, I bet you that big smile with a small space in the middle, that this is a stone giveaway to who he is. He's been in a lot of television and movies, 76 to be correct. And if you say Othello, hey, he'll jump up on that stage immediately, if not sooner. Ladies and gentlemen, with great happiness and much pride, please welcome veteran actor Ted Lange. Ted, God bless you.
Good to see you, Ron. Good to see you. How you doing, man?
When we get you here, you always pump it up. Just when we see that smile, that's Ted Lange, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ted Lange.
Yes.
And of course, a hearty welcome to the Actor's Choice. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
We got a lot to talk about in about 24 minutes. So the year was 1972, and a young man named Theodore William Lange from Oakland, California, came to Hollywood and got a role as Melvin the Pimp in an action crime drama movie called Trick Baby. Ted, take it from there.
Iceberg Slim. I was actually up for a different part. They had a part where they're looking for the lead characters, and they knock on a door, an apartment door. A guy opens it up and he says, "Have you seen so-and-so?" And the part I was going to read for, I said, "I haven't seen him." Then I closed the door. And so I talked to the casting director. I said, is this the only thing that's, they said, yeah, well, no, there's another part, but there's a part for a guy playing a pimp, but you obviously don't look like a pimp. So this is the one you should go up for. So I got a call back, and on my call back, I came dressed as a pimp. So they naturally gave me the sides. I went over the sides and I went in and auditioned. That's how I got that part.
You've got a lot of work behind you, my friend. 76 IMDb film and TV actor credits, 26 director credits, writers, and on and on and on. You have paid your dollar in this time.
Paying my dues, brother Ron. I'm just paying my dues. I've got 3 plays of mine. I became a playwright. Actually, I did Ain't Supposed to Die, A Natural Death in New York with Melvin Van Peebles. And Melvin wrote the play. And I would talk to Melvin about being a playwright, and I ended up writing, to date, I have 25 plays, and I have 3 of my plays on YouTube, on Zoom readings of my plays. So if you go to YouTube, type in my name, and now I have to give you the name of the plays, otherwise you'll end up with an accordion player with my same name. A white guy, believe me, I don't play accordion. And Molly B, his old lady. But you go to YouTube, type in Ted Lange, and then you put in Shakespeare Over My Shoulder. That's one of my plays. The other play is The Tears of Shylock. Both of these are Shakespearean plays, Shakespearean type plays. And then I have a Black Lives Matter play called Blues in My Coffee. And those are all up on YouTube under my name. And sometime mid-September, I'm going to do a comedy of mine called Four Queens, No Trump. That's not up yet, but we're going to do that later on in September after Labor Day.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that you graduated from the London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Yeah, I went there to study Shakespeare. Lynn Redgrave, Vanessa Redgrave, Lynn Redgrave, and Michael Redgrave, the Redgrave acting family. Lynn was doing a Love Boat, and she suggested that I go there. And so then what I did was I investigated and found out they had a class. This was back in 1984, and I went the best way you can go because I had money in my pocket. So I had a nice little apartment, in London, and I brought my kid over and my sister, and we all hung out and toured all around London, and I would go to class. I'd go take class in the daytime.
The beautiful thing about all that was that look at the education that you got.
I got a great education, and that love of Shakespeare has stayed with me. And that's part of the reason why I have this play called Shakespeare Over My Shoulder. If you want to get the history of who Shakespeare was and what was going on at that time, you go to YouTube and you look at Shakespeare Over My Shoulder, and you'll see it's some of the stuff I learned while I was there at RADA. They call it RADA, the Royal Academy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I started directing, and one of the things that I did is I did a show for Jill Whelan, who was the daughter on Love Boat. She's now, of course, a woman, and she wrote a show. Her and her girlfriend, Leah Mangum, wrote a show called Take It From the Top. And if you go on Facebook and you look up Take It From the Top, you'll see the show. It's really, really a lot of fun. It's a fun take, and it's a spin on Jill's life. Very funny stuff. And both Jill and Leah are in it, and I did a little cameo, but mainly I was directing.
Gotcha. You're the man to talk to when this question comes, because I see a lot of people that come to this town, wannabes, I call them. They come here with illusions of grandeur to Hollywood. They want to get on stage. They don't want to get on stage. They want TV. They want film.
They want the movies.
On the stage.
Yeah. They want the movies.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this several times.
Yeah. Well, the trick is to work however you can get a gig is to do that gig. A friend of mine, Leah's husband, Jonathan Mangum, has a thing called You Jokes on Facebook, and it's on YouTube. And Jill and I did one of the episodes, I believe it's episode 33, and we did that You Jokes, and it was a lot of fun. But every time you do something, it goes into the pot, and right. You meet people, and people either suggest you or they have their own project. And the more you work, even if it's for no money, the better off you are, because it's going to lead you to the prize. And that's the big trick there. So Jonathan is on the series Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady. And if you ever watch that show, he's the sidekick to Wayne Brady. But he has his own thing. So he developed. And see, the thing now, the beauty now is that you can put something together and put it up on YouTube or put it up on Facebook, and people can come and find you and watch you. And you're still getting that experience, the camera experience, the timing of a scene, of a joke, you know what I mean? And that's what you want to do, so that when someone knocks on your door, you're ready. You're ready because you've had the experience of doing this over here for no money, or this over here for very little money. Yeah. And then when the real money comes to your door, you've already have your craft and you've learned your skills.
They say the biggest problem for them is when they turn and look and there's an audience out there. Can't handle it.
So I've met actors like that. They've only worked in front of a camera. And I know a very beautiful girl, beautiful actress, but she was scared to death to stand in front of an audience, because standing in front of an audience, if something goes on, you have to work with it. You know what I mean? And it's actually, I think it's a very good lesson. There's a lot of little theaters around Los Angeles, And if you can get hooked up into one, I think it's a good thing because it gives you your chops, and you can hear the timings of jokes and things like that when there is no audience. So and you're not so dependent on a director to guide you. You know, you have your innate clock, your innate timing for when you're doing a scene and that sort of thing. So when you need to speed it up or you need to slow it down. I think stage is really a wonderful tool.
Me too.
And, and a great place for an actor to learn craft.
Musicals, I love them. Love them. Musicals, love them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Back to your career, sir. You picked up a few movies like Blade or Black Belt Jones after you left Trick Baby. And you got a job in what was called That's My Mama. You played Junior for 39 episodes.
Yep, we sure did. We had a good time on that one. You know, I was just talking to someone. I was talking to Anna Maria Horsford, and we were both reminiscing about Jester Harrison. Jester Harrison was on That's My Mama, and then after he left That's My Mama, he went to Amen, where Anna Maria met him. And I had a little bit part, Ron. I just had 4 lines, and I'd get about 3 laughs, you know, within the 4 lines. And Jester Harrison said, "Young man, come here, sit down, come here." He was an old timer. He was in his 80s then. He said, "Come here, sit down." "Yes, sir." He says, "You're getting 3 laughs. If you want to come back, get 4. And I went, "What?" He says, "Get 4 laughs. You got 3. We can see the 3 you got. Get 4. And if you can't, get 5. And that's what I would do, is I would, when I came on, I'd squeeze that scene for another laugh. And they kept bringing me back. And I did 9 episodes. And after 9 episodes, they gave me a contract, made me a regular. And that's because of Jester Harrison. Just said, you got 3 laughs that we know about. Get 4. Because that's what he used to do in vaudeville when he was coming up as a kid. Some old timer took him aside and said, "Hey, you want to keep this job? You know, get another laugh in that scene." And that's what we did. So yeah, That's My Mom was a lot of fun. I had a great time. There was a great bunch of actors: Teresa Merritt, Clifton Davis, and Teddy Wilson. Yeah, we had a good time.
Okay. But then in 1977, which was to me the best R&B music year for me, Marvin Gaye, Barry White, a lot of folks came out that year in 1977, we should call it. You got a role in a TV movie called The Love Boat 2, which led to a TV series called The Love Boat. And ladies and gentlemen, for the next 10 years.
10 years, baby.
Who didn't know it?
I was on the sea. I was cruising. You know? Yeah. And that's where I got my chops. That's where I learned. I went to the American Film Institute to learn directing, but then when I got Love Boat, it took 4 years, but I actually got a gig on the show to direct. And that's held me in good stead to this day. Right now, I'm working on a project with a guy named Maurice Kitchen.
Oh, yes.
Him and another guy named Gerald Rivers. And it's called 39, Sleep No More. And it's about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King coming back from the dead. And there's a host that talks to them, and they're talking about what's going on right now. And my friend Boise Holmes is the host. But Gerald Rivers sounds exactly like Martin Luther King. Maurice Kitchen looks exactly like Malcolm X. Yeah. And so we're doing this piece, and hopefully it'll turn up. It's called 39, Sleep No More. And then what they do is they say, "Malcolm, Martin, well, what the hell's going on? What do you think about all of this stuff?" And they pontificate, and they take the stuff that they've actually said, and they've worked it into this script where they tell you, in a sense, they've predicted this moment in time that we're living through right now.
Yes.
It's amazing, amazing. Malcolm and Martin both died at 39 years old.
2 pieces of trivia about you. You did 250 episodes on Love Boat. You also directed. But here's what got me. Between 1972 and 1988, my brother, you worked every year, at least once a year, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I was lucky, you know. People don't realize there's a certain amount of luck involved in this, but there is.
Okay.
And how do you get that luck? You do everything so that when the opportunity comes along, you're there. You are lucky enough to be there. And you don't know, sometimes you don't know who you're meeting is going to open the door for you. So, you know, the reputation that you leave in the room is the reputation that you carry with you. And that's what I tell actors. I say, you know, if you go on the set and you're late, that's your reputation. You're late. If you don't know your lines, if you're high or whatever, that's your reputation. That's what you're leaving in the room. And so what I tried to do was I got very lucky with Love Boat, but I was always on time, always knew my lines, always hit my marks. And that stretched into 10 years. So that when I said, hey, you know, I'd like to direct, that there's a certain amount of trust they have to put into you when you ask for that. And the fact that you're not high, that you're on time, that you do your homework, that's something that lends itself to them giving you your break as a director. And that's what happened.
Gotcha. Fast forward to 1989, a drama romance movie called Othello hit you.
That's it. Yeah.
Hit you, brother.
Well, that's it. That was when I was in London studying at the Royal Academy. That's the play they wanted me to look at it. And I looked at the play, and I really wanted to do Richard III. But they said, well, do this first, and then we'll do Richard III. And so I said, oh, okay. And I fell in love with the play. It's just an amazing play. And, you know, I collect, you can see my books back here. I collect a lot of books, and in particular, I collect a lot of Shakespeare books. And someone just sent me a thing on Shakespeare in America.
Okay.
And I'm reading this book, and of course, I'm interested in the history of Othello and that sort of thing. Did you know that in 1845, we were in the Mexican-American War, and they wanted to do Shakespeare for the army. So they're doing Othello. They choose to do Othello. And they don't have any women there. So they get this soldier who's 20-something years old to play Desdemona. That soldier was Ulysses S. Grant. He rehearsed as Desdemona, and they said he had a very soft face. And now you know, so then you realize he grew a beard and he chomped on a cigar, and that helped his image, you know, but he was 5'7", 135 pounds, and they put him in a dress, and they wanted him to be Desdemona. So, I mean, that, you know, it's fun for me to pick up little gems like that, episodes like that I found. And he didn't eventually play it because the guy said, I can't talk to this guy in a dress. You got to get me a girl. So they went to another town and found the girl and brought her to the army base, and they did Othello with a girl. But it's fascinating to me that Ulysses S. Grant was practicing Desdemona. Yeah.
Speaking of little gems, in 2014, you got involved in a movie called Steps of Faith. It answered the question, what would you do if you told the world that you heard God's voice and no one believes you?
Yes. Well, and my wife says that's the greatest acting I've ever done because she knows how religious I am. And I played a very religious dad, and Christy Ferris was my daughter, who's a wonderful actress. She's done a number of my plays, too. As a matter of fact, she's going to be, when I do Four Queens, No Trump, after Labor Day, we're going to put this up on after Labor Day on YouTube, on my channel. She's going to be in it, and I've got Keena Ferguson, Iona Morris, who was the daughter of Greg Morris, and Audrey Harris, and one of my favorite actors, Gordon Goodman. They're all going to be in this play that I wrote. It's a comedy. In 1997, the NAACP gave me best play for that particular play, a comedy, and it's an insight to 4 women who, because we always write, mainly people write plays about men, and it takes women to write plays about women. And these 2 actresses came to me and said, "Would you write a play for women?" And I said, "Yeah, sure," because they liked my sense of humor. So I wrote this play, 4 Queens, No Trump. Wait, hold it. This is my play.
All right.
There it is. 4 Queens, No Trump.
Trump.
Anyway, so I wrote the play, and that's on Amazon. If you want to go on Amazon, you go on Amazon, you type in my name, and there's about a half dozen of my plays on Amazon that you can order if you want to read some of what I've done over the years.
We just happen to have a small clip on that movie. Would you roll it?
I think that God is trying to tell me this is my calling. God, really? Faith works.
What do you do when God speaks to you and your family and friends mock you?
This is some kind of a joke, right?
You just believe.
I'll be back every day until you hire me.
Okay, you're back, Ron.
Okay. Well, we only got a few more minutes. Before we go, I just want to add a few things. There was a time when you and a young man by the name of Fred Grandy, remember him?
Yeah, sure do.
You guys put together a play back last year, March of last year, called it I'm Not Rappaport.
Right. They're 2 old guys, an old white guy and an old black guy, and they're sharing a bench in Central Park, New York.
Yes.
And we did this at the Red House Theater in Syracuse, New York, and we had a great run. And then the COVID thing shut. I was supposed to do another play the following year, Fences, at the Red House Theater, but because of the COVID thing, we had to shut it down because you can't be in a theater. They closed the theaters in New York, and so they had ended up closing the theater in Syracuse. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a project now, a film project called The Myth of Control. And it's to show you how art takes over. This film, The Myth of Control, it's 8 segments. And they asked me if I would direct a segment. I said, yeah. Mikhail Choudhury. Mikhail Choudhury asked me to do this. So here's what happened. I'm in Los Angeles. The actors in New Jersey. The camera operators in New Jersey. Mikhail is in Washington, D.C. The cinematographer is in London, England. And the set designers in Paris. And we all went on Zoom and we met and we did this thing and we were able to film this thing from all parts of the country and not worry about social distancing. It was amazing. It's called The Myth of Control. And that's coming out. You'll look for that one too. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. So we're finishing it up now.
And always a pleasure to see you. We ran out of time. It's always a pleasure to sit down and talk to you. I really appreciate you being here today.
My pleasure, Ron. Anytime. Happy to see you.
See what get you back on the stage again. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
my best
you.
to the family, please.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography as an Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. Oh, by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on The Actor's Choice. Haiku, style, passion, heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. Now, the book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku when over a half century ago, he had experienced with a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. Now, the book is available in paperback at lulu.com. Irwin says he'll give 20% on net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon, so please get your copy today. And now, a word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them, but a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Okay, we're back, Ron.
Thanks, Carla. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, call 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Attention all actors. An Actor Space provides classes and private coaching by veteran actor Rob Brownstein. An Actor Space is Thursday night classes for working actors and Tuesday night foundation and technique classes for the early career actor. The idea here is to build on each other's strength as an actor and who you are to help refine and reimagine your acting and your career. For more information, call class@robbrownstein.com. That's class@robbrownstein.com, or just give them a call, 323-646-1268. That's 323-646-1268. And finally, if you have a product, a science, or service coming up event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable. Thank you. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. My next guest today was a Cleveland, Ohio resident, now based here in Los Angeles as a screenwriter and an actor who writes character-driven TV and film projects. He's a Roadmap Writers Diversity Program recipient and has produced a number of shorts, including an award-winning reimagining of the Stephen King's In the Death Room. And if that's not enough, he's also an actor and a producer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Mora.
Thank you, Ron. I'm
My
glad
pleasure,
to be here.
James.
Sir.
Welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thank you, sir.
My first question out the box. Was coming to Hollywood always a dream for you, sir?
Ooh, actually, not really. No, when I was very young, I actually saw myself more as an author. I considered myself to be the next Langston Hughes or Alex Haley. I wanted to be the guy that wrote a lot of books.
Now look at you. My friend,
Yeah.
You have a voice, of what I call a gift from God. I can
Thank
see
you, sir.
why you get a lot of the roles that you get. Wow.
It has served me well thus far.
Indeed. Now, in 2006, you got your first IMDb film and TV credit for being a narrator in an animation TV series called Monkey.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
It was a lot of fun. One of my fraternity brothers, A.M. Frazier, had created a project that he was just starting out as well in his animation career, and we talked about it for quite a while, and they wanted to use my voice for a couple of the characters, and it was indeed quite a bit of fun and a great learning experience as well.
Indeed. You did stay at that place for 4 years, so obviously they liked it you, as we said. They liked it you.
Yeah, we've worked together back and forth still today on a number of different projects and things that we've got going on. So yeah, it's he's like my little brother. So nothing but love there 24/7 all day long.
Yeah. tell all them guys with the good voice to stand by. James Moore is in the house. Stand by.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
In 2009, you got your first actor credit for the role of Roger in a short comedy called Only in Paris. Remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it was interesting. The young lady who one of the actress in the short actually produced it, called me because she heard my voice and she was just like, "We've got to have you." But unfortunately, due to timing constraints, we weren't able to actually meet like face to face. So we actually recorded my role over the phone, which was fortuitous because I was actually playing a character that she's calling in the middle of the night over the phone. So that worked out great.
Good. Excellent. When you came here to the city, to Hollywood, as we call it, what was it like back then, getting to know people and then having people know you? What was that like?
It was, I had heard so much about Hollywood, what to expect and, what to be on guard for. And it was so not any of that when I got here. A lot of the people
broke the myth.
It broke the myth. It completely broke the myth. I mean, there were people who were ridiculously friendly and open and, wanted to know about me as a person, besides what I was looking to do. And it just really created a sense of home for me, being 3,000 miles away from anything and anyone that I knew very well. I felt very comfortable and very welcomed by LA. So I got nothing but love for the city.
Excellent. James, I have to ask you this question, sir. There is a must-do in Hollywood. It's called the Big A, or auditions. What's that like for you having to do that?
Actually, I've followed the advice of a number of my peers and people who've come before me in doing auditions. It's just like, it's all about the preparation. And, if you put in the work and the time for the preparation, you can certainly, do everything that you can to nail the role. Obviously, it's all about someone else's decision. But I remember once I had went to an audition. I was late, actually. I wasn't just a little late. I was very late. I was like 3 hours late because it was a tragic situation. They decided to let me read anyway. And when we got to the end of my read, I mentioned to the producers, I said, "Listen, I read another part of the project that you guys have written. And, I prepared that monologue as well. Since I was the last guy, I was like, would it be okay if I did that monologue?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" They had me do it 3 times. Halfway home on the bus, they called me to let me know the role is yours. So the preparation was key in helping me nail that role.
James, I used to be in the Navy, and we used to have an expression called the 7 Ps. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Indeed.
I learned it.
Indeed.
Okay. And then there was this comedy drama movie that you got. It was called Shorty and Morty.
Yes.
You know the producer, writer, and actress was a friend of both you and I, Eva Marie Frederick. Can you put that picture up there with your face for me, Tony? There she is. It's our good friend. Now, in this movie, she had you doing voiceovers and that beautiful, marvelous voice that you have. Can you please tell us about the project, please?
Well, first and foremost, Eva Marie is a dear, dear friend of mine. And she's one of the people that I credit with just providing the support and encouragement.
To get me, don't worry about it.
Yeah. To help me continue on.
Yes.
But it was so much fun because, again, this was yet another learning opportunity for me to really explore another facet of the business that I didn't have a firm grasp on. And Eva Marie was very supportive and and very encouraging and allowing me not only to embrace the role that that she had for me, but to kind of make it my own. And I'm still benefiting from that today.
All I can say is one thing. Good job you did. She talks every time she mentions your name. She says you're good. Oh, by the way, we do have a short of that. Roll it, Tony.
So, you're Shorty and Morty. Who's who?
Morty. Shorty.
Where are you from?
I'm not sure.
England.
Yeah.
How long have you been on the streets?
That's nosy.
We're not on the streets. We're not.
All right, you're back, Ron.
Okay, your next job was playing a character in 2015. The character was named Boomer. Now, this time,
yes.
Boomer would follow you through several other movies. This time, it was a comedy called A Night at the Silent Movie.
Yep. One of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in this business is that no matter what role that you have, always be present. And I actually started on that project as a PA. They needed a couple of extra hands one night for one of the location shoots, and we were actually shooting at the Silent Movie Theater. And I just made myself available throughout the day to whatever they needed. It's like, hey, director needs a bottle of water every time he says cut. I was the guy running the water to him. And the next day they were like, hey, we'd like to keep you on. And by the way, you've got a really interesting voice. And would you be interested in doing this? So the producers love me, and and they've had me back to reprise that role a couple of times in other projects. So I'm very grateful.
I can see a residual every month for a long time.
We love that.
Indeed. Looks like you was liking this Hollywood thing. I mean, a year later, Boomer was back on the scene in a horror movie called Canyon Road. And then if you fast forward a couple of years, there you are using that voice again as a cabal soldier in a movie called Stasis, yes. Stasis. A fun project written and directed by my friend Nicole Jones Dion. Great little sci-fi piece, and I got to do something I never thought that I would get to do, because James Earl Jones is one of my heroes. And to be able to play a character very similar to Darth Vader was a godsend. So that was so much fun to do. Since speaking of that voice, a dramatic thing happened to you. It happened that you got your first writer and producer credits for a movie called Death Date. What made you want to be a writer versus being an actor? Believe it or not, Ron, I've always been a writer at heart. But I when I came to LA, no writing credits or whatever to speak of, I figured, get into business, by any means necessary. And so acting seemed to fall into my lap. And, I did a lot of background work I worked on a number of projects, a lot of indie projects, and people just seem to believe that, you got the goods, man, go for it, do it, And so when the door opens, you don't stand there and ask, hey, do I go in or not? You go right on in. The problem that most aspiring screenwriters make is that they don't understand the difference between a plot and a story. True or false?
True. True. Very true. Story is, gosh, the one thing about great stories is that they're not necessarily all about what's on the surface and what you see. It's in the subtext. It's what lies beneath. And to understand a great story, you also have to understand the human condition and, the things that each of us love, fear, hate, and propel and push us forward or hold us back from the things that we want are really the driving engines behind any and every great story since the beginning of time. And yeah, it's essential that any screenwriter learn that.
I love when you guys complete your project and they call it the baby.
Yeah. You got to give birth to the baby and then you got to let it go.
And hope that they don't meddle with it and change anything.
Yeah. And that's why it's good to have it's good to have a good spiritual life, or if not that, a good bottle of spirits nearby.
I have to remember that one. Thank you, sir.
No doubt.
Here's another must question. They call it the baby. Okay. You belong to, let's get forward. You belong to an organization known as the Organization of Black Screenwriters. Can you tell us about that organization, sir?
Yes. And actually, I recently became a member. Very fortunate to have been invited to join this organization. There are so few organizations, in this industry that help promote, educate, and encourage people of color to not only live their dream but really learn, study, and enhance their craft to the point where you have an opportunity as well as a responsibility to be heralded among the greats. And the organization of Black Screenwriters has gone through some changes over the last couple of years, but they are very forward thinking. They are very forward moving, and I am so grateful to be a part of an organization that will also allow me to do my part to help be accountable not only to myself but to other screenwriters that come behind me. Yes.
Okay. Telephone number if someone wants to join. How can they get in?
So usually what happens is you can go to the site. They only have a membership drive, I believe, twice a year.
Okay.
And usually you have to be recommended by another member who's in good standing. So I would certainly, go to obswriter.com, and just follow along their page to find out when the next membership drive takes place. I believe it may be in January of this coming year.
Here's a plug for the organization. On Thursday, August 27th, 5 o'clock via Zoom, they're doing a event called Unsettling Ramona Salon Series.
Yes.
So hope that they do. I could see when I went to their website, they do a lot of different events to keep people in the mix.
Yeah, they do a great job, I believe, of keeping people not only apprised of relevant information, but getting you as close as possible to the people who are doing the work that you want to do, so that you can, we continue to inspire one another, as well as provide useful tactical information in building a solid career.
Yeah, much needed tactical information, definitely. Got to give another plug here. One of our good friends, this gentleman, Vincent Terrell Durham.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
He's a great guy. He is a great guy.
Samuel French Off-Broadway Short Play Festival. Congratulations to him. He worked hard. We've had him on the show. He's a good friend of mine. Love that fellow. Good man.
He's a real good guy, and I'm glad to see him getting the accolades that he so richly deserves.
Yes.
One of the few people that remains ever consistent, positive, and laser focused on his craft and his career. He's outstanding.
Outstanding. Speaking of jewels, you happen to have a few jewels yourself. First of all, you mentioned a fraternity. You're a member of Phi Beta Sigma?
Yes, sir. Proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity International Incorporated.
Excellent. I understand that you this month you were a winner of Roadmap Writers Diversity Initiative.
Actually, I won it. Has it been 2 years now? 2 years ago, and been a part of their top tier program for a while, and through that program I was able to acquire representation. I'm now rep by John Katzman of KDX Entertainment. One of the great things that I love about Roadmap Writers is that they celebrate diversity in a big way, and as a former military man, you understand the phrase, they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. And Roadmap truly goes above and beyond walking the walk and helping people of color, women, people in the LGBTQ community get on the map, get seen, get noticed, and eventually get represented. So they are gems in my book.
You, in a modest way, sir, you helped raise $35,000 for the indie short in the Death Room, based on a Stephen King short story. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. So, and it, it was a team effort. Again, my producing partner, Nicole Jones-Dion, along with, all the other producers that we had on the project, family, friends, just we reached out to everybody, and we were very fortunate, very successful in being able to hit not only our initial benchmarks, but our secondary benchmarks, and surpassing them in a big way. We are very, very proud of this film. I'm very, very proud of the cast, the crew, the actors, everyone who supported it. We just recently found out this morning that we've been nominated for Best Horror at the Long Island International Film Festival.
Right.
So it's one of many official selections that we've received. So we're very proud of this little project and all the accolades that it's getting for both cast and crew.
Excellent. See, that's what people don't understand. When you get together with screenwriters, actors, whatever the case is, when you're in this business, everybody looks out for you.
Exactly.
Particularly when we have this situations going on right now. You know, it really
Indeed. And it's all about the community and people, I've found especially in the entertainment community for the most part, don't stop to ask you, you're anything. It's just like, you're willing to help, you're willing to come on board. Come on, let's do this. Let's work together to make it happen. So I count myself as extremely fortunate and blessed to be a part of such a giving and supportive community that sees us for who we are.
My mom used to say, "Make me proud." Makes me proud.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
Also, I understand you're a published author now, the Be Epic Journal and Two for the Pain, and Eddie Glodian Mystery.
Yes. So the Be Epic Journal, it's one of those things that an opportunity in my life where I had to turn tragedy into triumph. Okay. And so in 2012, I was found myself deathly ill. Was literally in a nursing home for almost a year, and discovered that motivation or self-motivation, as it were, is something that you have to work at, and you have to work at every single day. And if you don't practice what you preach, you can quite easily fall victim to not only whatever malady that you're hit with, but certainly just the stuff around the world that's going on. And so I learned to teach myself how to always have something good to say. And if not about myself, I'm gonna find something good to say about someone else. So if I can't lift myself up just by lifting up myself, I'm going to lift myself up by lifting up another. And that mantra turned into a book, the Be Epic Journal. And the journal turned into something of a movement. Gotcha. And early next year, I'm going to be publishing the updated version, which is going to be called 21 Epic, and 21 Days to the Greatest Life You've Ever Lived.
Can't wait. Keep on doing it. Question. What I see here, Principal Hammerjack Films, LLC.
So Hammerjacks Films is my production company. Me and my wife launched at the beginning of the beginning of last year. When we decided we were going to move forward, Nicole Jones-Dion and I, on producing In the Death Room, we wanted to do it under her shingle. And since I had decided to launch my own production company, she suggested, hey, why not both? Let's just, let's both reap the benefits from this. And so In the Death Room is our first official production. We have a couple more slated. Obviously, COVID has sort of sidelined a few projects, but definitely we're looking forward, in the days to come to start working on production for our next short, and then hopefully, God willing, our first full-length feature.
Hey, so that was ready. We got a couple of moments. Just want to pass on that right now you've got a movie called Sacred Cow in pre-production.
Oh, Sacred Blue.
Okay.
It's something actually I've been working on for a number of years, and we're just starting to turn things around. And the script has been through a number of different rewrites, a number of different sections, and it's one of my passion projects. In that there's a lot of people not only in Hollywood that I want to associate with the project, but also back in Columbus and Cincinnati, Ohio, who I made a promise to, and I'm going to be a man of my word when we bring this thing together and to full fruition.
James, we got to go, unfortunately. I thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming in today. We'll get you back on again and want to hear some more about your success and what you're doing. And as they say here, welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood.
Thank you, Ron. I do appreciate it. And we appreciate you and everything that you're doing to keep the community going, sir. Please remember, you are a beacon of light, and we appreciate you deeply.
Thanks for our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much thanks to our guest today, actor, writer, director Ted Lange, and screenwriter, producer James Mora. Of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.